Rep the South Side whenever you pay with your White Sox debit card from Wintrust Community Banks and score perks like free ATMs, no monthly fees, and a $300 opening bonus. Pay with pride every time with Wintrust, Chicago's bank.
Hey everybody, it's 𝗪𝗏𝗏. Welcome back to the White Sox podcast. Brought to you as always by our great friends at Wintrust, Chicago's bank. Show your team pride with the White Sox debit card. Get yours at wintrust.com/Sox. Member FDIC, PHL lender. Okay, the offseason for the White Sox is here. And it did not take long for them to make changes, big changes. One day after the regular season ended, the White Sox announced that 4 major league coaches are not returning, including pitching coach Ethan Katz, hitting coach Marcus Thames, also Sergio Santos not returning as manager of the Charlotte Knights. So what is behind all the coaching changes, and where are the White Sox right now with the season behind us? Join me on the podcast today, CHSN White Sox coverage team of Brooke Fletcher and Connor McKnight. We will talk about that, as well as our season predictions, what we predicted for 2025 way back in spring training. How did we do? What we got right, what we got wrong, and what nobody could have predicted. And there's a lot of that, by the way, in a good way. So big changes with the coaching staff, where the White Sox are right now, our season predictions, and some surprising stats about 2025. Here we go. All right, joining me, Connor McKnight, Brooke Fletcher. You know what? Congrats. How about a coffee congrats to all of you for what you did this season?
Guys.
First
Cheers.
season at CHSN. That was a big swig there by Connor. Just before we begin, just wanted to give a shout out to both of you. You know, the broadcasts, you guys added so much. I mean, everybody, just consider this. We don't have one sideline reporter. We had 2 this year. That's a record in Major League Baseball. So props to you guys. And what a great, it was great just to work with you. I just want to let you know that.
Well,
Thanks. We feel the same.
Yeah, thanks, Chuck. No, I mean, I think it's hard to believe that the season's already over, but, you know, time flies when you actually really enjoy the people that you work with. And so I think, you know, we had such a great crew, and we appreciate everything that you've done for us, Chuck, as we both, Connor and I, both adjusting to this new role this year. So you were a huge help for us.
Yep. Couldn't say it better. It was also great to learn from 𝗁cie, you know, how to do TV in several languages.
Yeah, he knows how to do TV. That's for sure. So there's a lot of things I want to get to with you guys, but I first wanted to begin with perspective, because as the season ended, what I noticed about 2025 was it was not one season, it was 2. That's kind of how I look at it. There was before the All-Star break, and there was after the All-Star break. And after the All-Star break, the White Sox went 28-37. Not great, but they had the same record as, the Mets and the Tigers. You put that over the course of a season, and that's going to be 70 wins, the pace of that. And they outscored their opponents by 3 in the second half. So I feel like this is the team we're talking about right now, not the team that kind of stunk in the first half. What do you guys think? Connor, let's start with you.
Yeah, I think for me, the line of demarcation is July 4th. That's the call up for Colson Montgomery. And I know things, got real hot with him when we came out of the break after, Pittsburgh and Tampa. I think Brooke was there for both series and watched Colson go, nuclear. For me, that's the big difference. Not to say that there, weren't some other call-ups and players of meaning that got promoted throughout, Teal and Caro and Mydroth were all there beforehand. But it feels like a full crew once Colson gets there on July 4th. And offensively, those were the big strides. Those were the question marks coming into this year. Can they get there anywhere offensively, kind of knowing that the pitching was going to take its time and be hurt a little bit, unfortunately, because all the Tommy Johns in spring training. But they did get there, I think, in a lot of ways, offensively and defensively, too. And that's something we should say a lot more often than we maybe do.
No, I completely agree. I think Colson Montgomery it was so funny being on that road trip out of the All-Star break. Everybody was looking around like, is this the same team? Like what's going on here? But a change in approach. And I also think the long ball was like non-existent in the first half of the season. And when you had a guy like Colson Montgomery, Lenyn Sosa, I mean, guys, louis, I mean, was a completely different player also in the second half. And he proven that how much of an impact he can have in a lineup. We already know what he can do defensively, but I think there's something to say about the chemistry with that young core and how crucial that is in a clubhouse. And you talk about Colson and what he brings on the field, but then when you walk into the clubhouse, the confidence that he has and how I feel like it just kind of sets the tone for that young group. Not to say that the rest of the guys don't have that confidence, but I mean, I just think that, you're starting to see them really gel. And the future, I mean, you're looking at it, right? And so it was fun to see them really come together in that second half.
All right. So one of the highlights of the season for me and everyone, you're going to be shocked when you hear this because you're not expecting this. I don't think you are. The last 2 outs the White Sox made in 2025. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Really?
So 𝗁cie and I could not, we were gushing on our last postgame show about this. We were gushing. Because the last 2 outs that the White Sox made were both ground outs by Colson Montgomery and Miguel Vargas in the 9th inning. They're up 8-0. The final 2 outs in the 9th inning, they are busting their butts to get to first base. Okay? Colson Montgomery, Miguel Vargas. Colson, I think, even got hurt a little bit, like running to first base because he was, who knows why, but maybe because he stepped on the base funny. I'm not sure. But that just showed you, like, this team's in last place. And 2 days prior, James Wood, best player maybe on the Nationals, lollygagged it to first base twice on ground balls. Just basically like, I don't give a blank about whether I'm going to get to first base or not. I'm out. No, Colson Montgomery, Miguel Vargas showing this heart that this team has. And 𝗁cie and I, we had like the plays of the year we put together for the show. We added this sequence to plays of the year. That says a lot about what these guys are all about. Brooke, would you agree with that?
No, that's such a good point. And I think that's something that, we missed as well. Just how hard these guys were playing and the belief in the clubhouse. And, Colson, like, I remember I was chatting with him and he was like, we're still, okay, I know where we are in the standings. He's like, we're still in the major leagues. Like, we're professional athletes. We know what we're doing here. And so I think, that tone just was completely set throughout the clubhouse. And I'm sure 𝗁cie was loving their hustle. He was like, that's such an 𝗁cie thing. He's like, let's freaking go. I'm sure
𝗁cie's like, are we putting this in the show? This has to be in the show.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, we're putting it in the show.
But it's true though. I mean, like, I think that was something that Will and Connor can attest to that too in our meetings. Like with him, he just continued to say, these guys, they believe that they can win. That's been the big difference in the second half.
Yeah, I think too, the fact that, you think back to Project Birmingham, right? Before �criss Getz was even general manager, and whether it worked or didn't work is kind of immaterial for this point. But like, you bring them up in waves, these players, they play together, they can play for each other. And that's really important, as a system builds on itself, right? I mean, some of these young guys that I've talked to on our podcast, they know what it's like to be a White Sox because that expectation is being set throughout the course of the minor leagues. And that's really important. That's how you get guys running their butts off down to first base when the clock is basically expiring on the 2025 season. I mean, that's important. And I think there's more of that to come.
And don't you feel like that's the difference in a winning club too? Like, you can have all the talent in the world, but players that know how to win and know how to turn it up a notch in that final stretch of the game when it's a close game, right?
No doubt.
I mean, the previous era, and I mean, I've just been slam dunking on the previous era so much. I feel terrible. I mean, there was a division title that was won here. I got to know a lot of these guys, but there was just way too many examples of not running hard to first base, getting hurt all the time running to first base. Just there's a lot of like home to first. It was just not a great place for the White Sox for several years, but now to see the season end like that just stood out to me. Before we get to our season predictions from 2025.
I'm nervous.
Yeah. I don't want to, you'll just see how you're going to feel. I mean, because
I did great. I know it.
Yeah. You probably maybe you forgot how you did. I always forget what I say. So I went back and listened to it. So I don't think you're going to feel so bad. But I want to get to the coaching changes because this came out of nowhere. I mean, the day after the regular season ends, bam, Ethan Katz let go. He'd been with the team since 2021. 𝗦𝗏𝗃 𝗏𝗏 last 2 seasons as the hitting coach. Jason Bourgeois, first base and outfield coach. 𝗵𝗏𝗃, catching coach. He's not here anymore. Grady Sizemore was the offensive coordinator. He'll be offered a new role in the organization. We'll see if he comes back. And then Sergio Santos won't be back as manager of the Charlotte Knights. I want to get your take on this. Connor, what do you think about the moves?
Well, first, I do want to thank all of those guys because at different points during the season, Chuck and Brooke and I, we were all talking to them as part of our reports. All of them, I think, part of Friday Night All Access, which is just such an awesome show. And, the buy-in is big, and they had that. And I know that they, top down had really good relationships with these players. This is an organization that is with a new manager, has a new bench coach. They got to gel together along with the front office and Chris Getz, and, new directions needed to be found. I think, over the last couple of weeks, started hearing some things, some questions began to get asked. This is what happens, in the last 2 weeks of a season when a team's, going to win 60 games. And you start to ask around and start to inquire about whether changes are going to happen. And the responses that we all got, publicly from Will and from Chris is that these things are going to be dealt with in meetings. We're going to talk about these at the end of the season. And that's not everybody's going to be back. We love our coaches and all that kind of stuff. So, we'll see where the direction gets set. Remember, I think the 2 other important voices here are Brian Bannister, the director of pitching, and Ryan Fuller, the director of hitting. And I think, as you go and rescope what it is that you do as an organization, those 2 voices are going to be pretty loud because those positions that they're going to fill need to be kind of top-down approaches.
Yeah. And I second everything that Connor says there. And I commend, when you're bringing in a new manager, a new bench coach, Walker McKibben and Will Venable, I commend them to at least give it a try the first year, just kind of see where this team's at. But I think it does tell a bigger story in a sense of, I think they have an idea of what their identity is and the direction that they want to go. And I think that, they try to make it work. But I think now, you talk about Ryan Fuller, Brian Bannister, you have, this team assembled and okay, now what pieces do we need in order to get this organization to where we want to be? And so I think as tough it is as it is, because like Connor said, we built great relationships with those coaches. I think it is encouraging in a way that Chris Getz in this group, they know what they're looking for and they know what needs to be addressed.
Yeah, initially I saw the press release and I was like, wait, what? I didn't see this coming at all. And then I realized, well, let's just be honest. This happens in all lines of work. Will Venable and Walker McKibben, were brought into this situation. They didn't hire any of these guys. They were from a previous era, and nothing against those guys, but you want to work with guys who fit your mentality, fit what you want to do. And this also includes, like you said, Brian Bannister, director of pitching, right? He didn't hire Ethan Katz, and Ryan Fuller, director of hitting. He didn't hire 𝗦𝗏𝗏𝗏 𝗏. So that'll be interesting to see what happens with who they hire. I think they'll say a lot about Will Venable, right? And Bannister and Fuller. And then Sergio Santos now brought back. That was also well, why did that happen? I think there's more to that story. Nothing secretive. Just didn't understand why that happened. I was like, oh, well, why is Sergio Santos not back? I got to get Sergio Santos on the podcast. Maybe I can ask him.
Get the tea.
Get the tea,
Chuck.
Yeah. All right. So before we look back at our 2025 predictions, I've got surprising stats. Pop quiz for Connor and Brooke. I didn't want to tell you this ahead of time. I'm telling you
Connor's
now.
the stat guy. He's gonna get this.
No, you'll be fine.
There.
Honestly, even if you're wrong, if you're wrong, it's going to prove me right about this. Okay, so it's okay to be wrong, because I probably would have gotten these wrong. Who led the team in runs scored this year with 80? The next closest had 57. Who
80 runs scored. It's got to be
Kyle Teal.
I'm going Sosa wasn't on base enough. Benintendi?
This proves my point.
No, it's Miguel.
Oh, Miguel, that's a good one. That's Miguel.
It's Miguel.
It's Miguel Vargas, who had 23 more runs than anybody else on the team. Okay. Doubles. This person had 32. Next closest had 20.
I believe that is also.
This is so hard because I know.
Yeah.
a lot of the guys weren't even here for the full season. So yeah. I'm going to go with Miguel because he was here.
It's Miguel Vargas. Okay. Who led the team in hits? This is a little easier. Who led the team in hits, home runs, and RBIs?
It's Lenyn. No, was it Lenyn? Lenyn.
Yeah, Lenyn the Dream.
Lenyn Sosa. So when I go back to our season predictions, and if I would have said to you, Lenyn Sosa is going to lead the White Sox in hits, home runs, and RBIs, the podcast would immediately have been canceled, turned off. It would have been the end of the podcast. I mean, the podcast would have blown up. Like, who would have predicted that?
And I would have said, had you told me, I would have said, well, then something has either gone horribly wrong or unbelievably right. And neither of those things are true about the 2025 season. You know, I mean, it's just, you never know.
One more. I'll go one more. What player, you'll get this right, but this is proving another point. What player had more home runs after the All-Star break? Had more home runs after the All-Star break than Aaron Judge, Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto, Pete Alonso, Bryce Harper.
That would be Colson Montgomery, Bob.
That would be Edgar Quero. No, I mean, that's Montgomery.
I was like, wait, what?
I'm sorry?
And I mean,
I was so confident.
Yeah. That's
a great stat, though.
I know. I mean, come on. Colson Montgomery was doing that. There's a lot more names I could have added to that list. And in 2024, Luis Robert, Yoan Moncada, and Eloy Jimenez had 41 RBIs combined. Moncada had none. Colson Montgomery had 55 RBIs in 71 games. We are in new territory, everybody. We are in a new era, and it just feels a lot better, doesn't it?
It's exciting.
Okay.
No doubt.
All right, let's get to our predictions. So back in spring training in Glendale, I found a baseball. I said this baseball is the symbol of 2024. I'm going to take this baseball. I'm going to throw it over a mountain. And I did. You guys were there.
Several mountains, if I recall correctly. Yeah.
It was gone. So now we are in 2025. Our first prediction that we made, who will lead the White Sox in wins? Do you guys remember what you said? Who you said?
Wait, I think I said Sean Burke.
You did say Sean Burke.
Okay.
He became the opening day starter, and he got 4 wins.
At least he's still with the team.
Take wins.
I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like at least because I know another guy that I guess is not even on the team anymore.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yes. I probably said Davis Martin.
Okay. Who'd you say, Chuck?
All right. So hold on a second. So what we're going to do here is, I'm going to write I have all your answers here, and we're going to we will figure out who got the most predictions right, and they will be crowned the 2025 prediction podcast champion. Connor, you did not say Davis Martin.
Okay.
You said Bryce Wilson.
Swing and a miss.
Bryce Wilson, you said he'd have 9. Bryce Wilson ended up with none in the majors. He had 4 in the minors. Someone on this podcast did say Davis Martin. Someone on this podcast did say 7 wins, and that would be me.
Ooh. Oh, go ahead and give yourself a little pat on the back.
I made on the podcast. Maybe one of the greatest predictions I've ever made. I got the name and the number. He had 7.
Wait, that's impressive, Chuck.
Dig it.
The number?
I know. And this is the end of our podcast. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening.
Do I get bonus points for naming at least the opening day starter?
But also, Shane Smith had 7 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got that on the last day. And I also said on the podcast, what if Shane Smith leads the team in wins? So this is the peak, my peak here on the podcast. It'll be all downhill from here for me. Just, So I get the first one. Chalk one up for Chuck. I get the first one. On to number 2. Oof. Big fall is coming for me right here.
I'm nervous.
Best off-season edition. Do you remember what you said, Brooke?
I think I said Brandon Drury.
No, you said Shane Smith.
Oh.
Take it home.
Okay.
Someone else said Brandon Drury. That was me.
Oh.
And then Connor said Teal.
Oh.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I think Connor and I got this one.
Yeah, I think we'd split a win here, to be honest with you. But I mean, Brooke can take it.
But
you got
Shane
an all-star.
was all season.
Yeah, Shane was all season and an all-star and pitching is. I mean, he was. Yeah, Brooke wins it.
You could give Connor a half point.
I'll take honorable mention.
Okay, so are we doing half points or are we doing full points? I'll give you either.
No, I don't know.
Brooke gets a
Regardless. This is your podcast, Chuck. We're just here.
Brooke gets a full point. I mean, that's Shane Smith is Shane Smith.
Well, Kyle Teal.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean,
it's a real thing. I'm giving you both a full point.
Right.
Okay.
I said Brandon Drury, who had at the time had batted .410 in spring training, slugging .829. He broke his thumb, I believe, the next day.
Yep.
You had high hopes.
Yeah. So, here's a quote from you, Connor.
Me? Oh.
No, I'll have quotes from you coming up, Brooke. Connor said, at the end of the year, you're going to see Kyle Teal as one of those dudes.
There you go.
I think we can say that. All right.
I think we can.
He had an OPS plus of 121. Colson was 130. All right.
Yeah.
2024, the highest OPS plus on the team of a guy who basically played on a regular basis, sort of, and had enough games to qualify, sort of. Tommy Pham, 103 OPS plus in 70 games. That's how bad 2020.
Go ahead, Tommy Pham.
All right. Miguel Vargas home runs. Last year with the White Sox, he batted 104, had an OPS plus of 13. This year, he got to 100. So he went from one of the worst hitters in baseball to league average. Big plus for Miguel Vargas. So, Brooke, you said 15 homers for Miguel Vargas.
Okay.
Connor said 21. I said 18. He ended up with 16.
Oh.
Brooke
We were all in the ballpark.
We were in the ballpark, but Brooke, you win because you missed by one.
Nice.
I missed by one Aaron Judge. Does that matter? I mean, if Aaron Judge doesn't come charging down that first baseline, Miguel's on a heater as it happens.
That's a great point.
That's the other thing too about, because I knew this is the only one I remembered, Miguel and the 21 home runs or how many home runs he would hit. I was pretty certain about a bounce back year for Miguel in a lot of different ways. And there, don't get me wrong, there's still a ways to go for Miguel, and I think he can get there in a lot of places. Whether he's a first division regular or not, I think that's probably still a fair question. However, credit Miguel for staying tough, bouncing back from injuries throughout, and readjusting throughout his season while getting hurt and having to come back healthy. Like those are all things that you want to see a player be able to learn to do. And Miguel accomplishing those things, I think, matters maybe just as much as not just as much, but it's like 1B underneath, figuring out how to hit.
Yeah, that was a giant leap that he made from last year to this year. A big story for me will be, okay, what's the next leap? Because he still needs to take a leap. Yeah. He's league average right now, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But, I mean, you want him to be, really good. And hopefully I think that's in him. But those are words. We'll see what happens. All right, most improved player. Brooke, remember who you said?
No.
Corey Lee.
Oh. That's not bad. That's not a bad one.
He never really got the at-bats.
Needed runway.
Yeah, he didn't get the opportunity to really be that improved player in the major leagues because there was Edgar Quero and Kyle Teal. Right. Connor said Miguel Vargas.
Oh.
I think I can take that.
I think. Well, who did you say, Chuck?
So I said Luis Robert Jr., who the bar was low because he had such a bad year. He did have career highs in stolen bases and walks, but he didn't do Miguel Vargas stuff. So I'm giving it to Connor.
I'll take it.
One for Connor.
So this next question, we all got wrong. I think the entire universe got this wrong. Will Luis Robert Jr. be traded? We all said yes.
Yeah.
So this might be a whole other podcast. Actually, it will be at one point. Other than the stolen bases and the walks, Robert basically had the same season as last year. Okay. 10 more games, 3 less hits, same amount of homers, 18 more RBIs. His slash line's almost identical. His OPS plus went from 86 to 85. So thinking about, do you pick up the option and give him a $5 million raise?
Well, I mean, Chris told us when he had his end of season press conference with the media, it said that, he will likely be back. They have the intent of bringing him back next year. I know that's going to that's going to be the biggest question looming this offseason. But I mean, when he was on and when he was playing well, like, he showed how much of an impact player he can be and the difference maker in a lineup. It's just, can we get him healthy and can we have that on a consistent basis?
My biggest thing is, but do you pay him $20 million to do that?
Yes.
That's
well, that is the question. I'm not saying yes or no, but
yeah. I mean, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So we'll see what they do. It's a big question mark. I'm just a sportscaster and podcasting host. I'm not pulling the strings and paying the money, but I'm just
I will say though, and I know you guys probably saw it in the clubhouse too, there was a shift in Louis and his personality in the way he was engaging with the guys in the clubhouse. I mean, him and Colson had this little handshake and this, bromance going on. And it was fun to watch him because I felt like whether it was a weight off his shoulders and he didn't have the trade looming, or he was just fully embracing just like being a part of this group and he likes this clubhouse. I don't know, but it was fun. And I think that's important to note that we did see a different side to Louis down the stretch of this season.
Yeah, agreed.
All right. Who will be the White Sox prospect of the year? We asked. Brooke said,
I say Kyle?
You said Kyle Teal.
Nice.
Connor said Hagen Smith.
Yeah.
And I said Hagen Smith. Brooke's feeling pretty good about that pick.
Yeah.
Teal /273, 375, 411, and 78 games in the majors. Smith, 75 innings in Double-A, 108 strikeouts, a 3.69 ERA. Brooke, this is what you said about Kyle Teal in your wisdom. You said he brings that energy. He can walk the walk, can talk the talk. The Sox need his power. Even though he's starting in Triple-A, he'll get the call at some point.
Nice. He does bring the energy. That's
so much energy.
We love Kyle Teal's energy.
Much.
You never know what's going to come out of Kyle's mouth, but in the best of ways, right?
Yes.
And he did bring the power. I think he really helped in that sense in the second half.
He gave one of the best answers when I asked him if he would be up for an interview. One of the best answers I've ever gotten from an athlete when I asked if he would do an interview with me. His answer was, "Sure, when? When do you want to do it?" He was all in.
And that's Kyle at a 6 too. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a 6 for him.
Yeah. It's like, let's do it. When do you want to know? I'm like, wow.
It's so endearing though, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes.
Love it.
Connor, you said, just putting it out there about Hagen Smith. There's every possibility that he jumps in to the majors this year. That would be best case scenario.
Yeah.
So we both are wrong, if you want to say that. I think Hagen Smith's going to have a better year next year. Brooke wins again. None of us said Colson Montgomery.
Nope.
Right?
And that's on us.
Or 𝗂𝗏𝗏, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
because I think had any of us said 𝗂𝗏𝗏, I think that's probably a point here too. Although, I mean, like nothing against Teal. I'm just saying Bonner was really good.
The point I'm trying to make is that development is not linear, right? So these guys like, Hagen Smith, Noah Schultz, they didn't have the season they thought they were going to have, or we thought they were going to have. Same with Colson, and look what Colson did this year. So like next year, we could be like, oh, no one will take Hagen Smith and he'll end up being the prospect of the year or something like that's the kind of thing that happens in baseball.
Right.
All right. When will Colson Montgomery make his major league debut? So, keep this in mind. In spring training, he was the shortstop. Like coming in, it was his job to lose.
That's right.
He struggled. They sent him to minor league camp early. It was like a quick, like, we're pulling the plug. You're not going to be on the opening day roster. You're going to minor league camp. But we were still pretty optimistic about him making it to the major leagues. You're never going to remember your dates unless you do remember them.
I think I said May, like May 21st or something.
You said
May
19th.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think I said June 26th.
June 23rd.
So close.
And I said June 2nd.
Okay.
So
Okay,
Connor,
so
did we
Connor
give it
wins.
to Connor? He's the closest. It was July the 4th. All right, Connor. So right now, the score is Connor with 3, Brooke with 3, Chuck with 1. I got off to a great start.
Bloop and a blast, Chuck. That's all you need. Bloop and a blast.
Falling apart. And not that my picks were that bad, but you guys have really strong picks here. Well, the Brandon Drury pick was not good. But I didn't know he was going to break his thumb the next day. Come on.
Well, to your defense, he was the talk of spring training.
Yes.
Everybody was excited about him, including Chris Getz.
Brandon Drury will be another topic on this podcast coming up, just so you know. Who will have a better season? Tim Anderson, Yoan Moncada, or Eloy Jimenez? Yeah, think about that.
I think I said TA.
So let me just put this in perspective. So you said TA. I said TA. Connor said Moncada. All right. TA batted .205 in 31 games, no homers, 3 RBIs. He was released on May 29th. Eloy Jimenez, 40 games in AAA with the Rays, 3 home runs, 29 RBIs. Released in July, got picked up by the Blue Jays, was in AAA with them, went 2 for 21. That guy's career could be over. I just cannot believe both of them. I mean,
Wow.
TA and Jimenez could be done. I just they're 30, 32 years old. Yoan Moncada, White Sox. By the way, the White Sox paid him $5 million this past season. And the Angels signed him for $5 million more. You guys want to guess how many games he played with the Angels?
I want to say something like 60.
84.
All right. That's a lot
OPS
more
plus
than
of 116. He did okay, but he just didn't play enough. So
Yeah.
you win, Connor. That's another win
He
for
did have
Connor.
the better season.
Yeah, the better season. All right, we got 2 left. Oh, 3
Okay.
left. And we got to get Brooke. You got to leave soon, so we got to go quick through here. All right, bold predictions. We didn't include this in the podcast. We took it out because your bold prediction had to do with Brandon Drury, Brooke.
Well,
So if you
I'll
go
just take that
back
as
and
a
listen,
loss.
we just cut it out.
Okay.
So I don't even know what it was, but I just remember that you predicted something with Brandon Drury. So you lose. Connor said Hagen Smith and Noah Schultz will reach the majors at some point. Again, we had to be bold. It's tough to.
These were bold, yeah.
If you pick a bold prediction correctly, that's really good. And I said on May the 1st, the White Sox will not be in last place. They went 7-23.
Yeah.
And they were in last place, but the Twins were 13-19. My point was someone was going to take a step back in the division. And if the White Sox had a good start, they could not be in last place. So no one wins that, right? No one wins that. Hot takes. Brooke, you said over 65 wins.
I was close.
Close. Connor, the White Sox will have a top 3 farm system. They were 6th. They actually went to 17. No. They were 6th at the start of the season.
Yeah.
They're now 17th, according to MLB Pipeline. But it's wonky
Promotions.
because Teal, Caro, and Colson got called up, and Smith and Schultz didn't take big steps forward. Okay. Mine, I said they'll be one of the most – no, I said they will be one of the surprise teams in baseball.
I think we could sell that in the second half of the season, I would say, after the All-Star break.
Yeah, sure.
We can.
Yes.
I'm not saying I'm like I'm like hot take city correct here.
Here's the thing. You got 2 Rule 5 guys that I think exceeded expectations. You have Colson Montgomery, where nobody thought that he was going to be playing how he did. I think this young core coming together and the way that the impact that they had, nobody really expected them to have the immediate impact. So I could buy that, Chuck.
Brooke, I'm giving myself a point. Thank you very much. I need it.
I'm an optimist here.
Okay. And finally, oh, by the way, you said, Brooke, you said this. People underestimate camaraderie. They will play for each other.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is true.
There's a win.
Reporter who knows her stuff and knows her team that she's covering. And finally, because you got to get off this Zoom.
I'm sorry, guys.
Wins. All right. Brooke said 70.
Why did I go up? What?
Well, no, you said over 65 wins, and then you said,
65.
I'm going 70. Like, well, below.
I mean, the amount of one-run games that we were in.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Connor, you said 63.
Oh.
With a winning record in the final 2 months.
So close.
Oh.
And then I said 67.
You got to give it to Connor.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Connor. But here's what I said. I said, here's the biggest thing you're going to see this year. You're going to have a team that you can believe in and a team that gives you hope going forward.
10 points.
That's just beautiful. That's just a perfect way to tie a bow
Poetic.
on this whole thing, on this season. It's true.
I saw the future. I couldn't tell you how many wins correctly, but I saw what you were going to feel and what you were going to see. So I got that right.
And I think we can all agree, like the fans, I think I mean, you guys were around last season, but the excitement, like people showing up to the ballpark, the engagement on social media. And I think fans are just excited. They feel like it's different. No?
Agreed.
Yeah, I hear it all the time from Sox fans. Everywhere I go, it's like, I believe in this, and they're fun to watch, and I see the future. So I see that you have to get off and go on this other call, Brooke, because you were like the busiest person known to man in the world.
I'm sorry. This was so much fun, though. Got to revisit.
Listen, we're going to come back, and we're going to do this again. Right? What's that?
So Connor won, I'm assuming, right?
Yes, Connor won.
Gotta give
Wait,
Connor,
you gave me 10 points for the last answer. Do I get 10 points?
Yeah, you get 10 vibe points.
If I get 10 points, I win.
I lost either way. So,
but let's just okay. Connor had 5, Brooke had 3, I had 2, plus 10.
Good job.
Plus 10.
So I get 12. And we'll have you back on in the not so distant future, so we make our off-season predictions.
Love it.
Off-season.
We like this.
So that is, well, I'll pick the right time, and we kind of have a feel for what's happening, like in terms of like, just I don't have a good feel yet for the off-season. We'll come back and we'll do it again. Brooke Fletcher, Connor McKnight. By the way, Road to the Rate podcast with Connor. That's going on in the off-season?
It is. We're going up to November 22nd. 𝗵𝗂 will be our next guest. Be a good one.
And then Sideline with Brooke Fletcher. You call her Danny K.
Danny 𝗵𝗂𝗶𝗹, Danny K. We might be doing one at Rate Field. We're working on it. So we might have something coming.
All right, looking forward to that. All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening, for watching as well. 𝗵𝗂 𝗏𝗏, take it away.
All right, Chuck, this edition of the White Sox podcast is over.